Lauma's coming in 6.0, and in my opinion, she's the most valuable unit in the patch. Getting straight into it, she's a support in all Bloom related teams, be it Bloom, Hyper Bloom, Burgeon or Lunar-Bloom. Just to clear up any confusion with Lunar-Bloom, the Bloom reaction currently in the game creates a Bloom core. The reaction itself doesn't deal damage, the damage comes from the core exploding. Some characters in Nodcry, our first being Lauma, convert the Bloom reaction into Lunar-Bloom. Lunar-Bloom creates a core just like Bloom, except it also gives the team Verdant Dew, which is basically just a stack. Some Nodcry characters can interact with those stacks. Lauma can consume up to 3 of them with a hold skill. This deals AoE Dendro damage, which is considered Lunar-Bloom damage, summons a deer that deals AoE Dendro damage every 2 seconds, and gives her a Moonsong stack for each Verdant Dew consumed. The skill also reduces the opponent's Hydro and Dendro resistance by 25% for 10 seconds. When she uses a burst, she converts each Moonsong stack into 6 Pale Hymn stacks, and she gets another 18 from casting the burst, so 36 total. Whenever you deal Bloom, Hyper Bloom, Burgeon or Lunar-Bloom damage, a Pale Hymn stack is consumed to buff the damage scaling off Lauma's Elemental Mastery. Before we go any further, when I'm switching between characters, sometimes there's a slight delay because of ping. Gear Up is the solution. It's free to try and easy to use, just open it up, choose your game and you're good to go. It's also good for cross-region play. If you're playing on a different server to the country you live, ping is usually an issue, but not anymore. It's completely trustworthy with thousands of positive reviews and the best reputation among its competition, and is even endorsed by some of my favourite Genshin creators like Jello Impact. TLDR on how it works: internet signals are sent between servers all over the world. The longer the signal travels, the slower it gets to you. Longer routes are usually fine for browsing social media and websites, which is what most people do, so your internet service provider doesn't prioritise shortening the route. With live gaming, a shorter route does matter though. Gear Up simply finds the shortest route between you and your server and sends your signal through it. I left a link in the description for you to try it for free. Okay, quick summary of what Lauma does and how you play her teams: trigger Bloom to obtain Verdant Dew, hold skill to convert them to Moonsong stacks, burst to convert them to Pale Hymn, trigger any variation of Bloom reactions to consume the Pale Hymn and buff a reaction's damage. Again, her skill also summons a deer to deal AoE Dendro damage on tick and shreds Hydro and Dendro resistance. Her passives are useful too. We already discussed she converts Bloom into Lunar-Bloom. She also buffs the base damage of Lunar-Bloom, scaling off her Elemental Mastery. We'll talk specific numbers in a minute. Another passive uses her Elemental Mastery to buff her skill damage and reduces the cooldown on a charge attack state, which we'll come back to. She also has an important passive regarding the team's moon sign. Basically, any team with a Nodcry unit now has a moon sign level. If there's one Nodcry unit in the team, your team will be moon sign level 1, Nascent Gleam. If there are 2 or more, your team will be moon sign level 2, Ascendant Gleam. At level 1, Lauma makes it so that Bloom, Hyper Bloom and Burgeon can crit with a fixed 15% crit rate and 100% crit damage. At level 2, Lunar-Bloom damage can crit with 10% crit rate and 20% crit damage. The passive states that this can stack with other effects that make the reactions crit. As of right now, there aren't any, but it's a sign we'll get more throughout Nodcry. Also, when characters not from Nodcry use their skill or burst, the team can get up to 36% lunar reaction damage. Definitely make sure you have at least one character not from Nodcry in the team. Another cool thing, for a charged attack I just mentioned, she activates the Spirit state. This turns her into a deer which consumes stamina to sprint for up to 10 seconds. During this state, she has increased resistance to interruption and gets a double jump that consumes stamina. It's not particularly useful, but it might be some fun. In terms of weapons, it goes without saying her signature will be best. It gives her 265 Elemental Mastery, another 60 Elemental Mastery for 10 seconds when a party member triggers Lunar-Bloom, another 60 for 4.5 seconds when she deals Dendro damage with a skill. When she has both of these buffs, she increases all party members' Bloom damage by 120%, their Hyper Bloom and Burgeon damage by 80%, and their Lunar-Bloom damage by 40%. So it's pretty good. Let's say you don't go for it though because you want to save your primo gems for characters. The Nodcry Craftable Catalyst gives 221 Elemental Mastery, as well as increasing her own Bloom damage by 96% and a Lunar-Bloom damage by up to 48%. There's also an Event Catalyst that gives 200 Elemental Mastery and 46% energy recharge. For artifact sets, the priority is making sure at least one character in the team is holding Deepwood. If you don't have someone holding it already, it's going to be Lauma. The new support set, Serenade, gives 20% energy recharge from the 2-piece and elemental mastery to the whole team from the 4-piece. Remember the moonsign level we talked about earlier? If the team is moonsign level 1, so 1 Nodcry character, the team gets 60 elemental mastery. Moonsign level 2, so at least 2 Nodcry characters, the team gets 120 elemental mastery. Also, the 4-piece gives the team 10% lunar reaction damage, and they'll get another 10% if someone in the team is holding the other new set. In terms of a day 1 set, while you farm a new one, anything with elemental mastery will do. 2-piece, 2-piece combos, or 4-piece gilded. TLDR of Lauma's stats, she wants 800 elemental mastery to max out the buff she gives to her own skill, as well as the Lunar-Bloom damage to the team. If you go elemental mastery on the sands, goblets and circlets, that gives you 561. She ascends with 115, so that's 676. 120 from the artifact set puts her at 796. The event weapon given 200 leaves her with 996, so from there you can just prioritize energy recharge and more elemental mastery. Now for my favourite part of the video, let's look at some teams, and I'm excited to do so because she brings some less meta characters back into the mix. So Bloom hasn't been meta for a while, but Lauma said let's do something about that. Get it? Putting Nilu in there gives us bountiful cause. Ino applies Hydro and brings the team's moonsign level up. Her C1 buffs her and the on-fielder's elemental mastery by 80, and her C6 buffs the team's Bloom and Lunar-Bloom damage too. For the last slot you'll want a healer, so either of Baiju or Yaoyao on field will be fine. Xingqiu is a strong alternative to Ino. Your moonsign level will go down by 1, but you're not going to be restricted to Ino's small burst radius, and he'll contribute more damage. Fairycraft is saying Nahida and Kokomi will be in the strongest team. Then you have Barbara as a free-to-play option. Lauma's release means Kaveh has a new best team. He can self-sustain even with Lunar-Bloom, but Xingqiu gives another small layer of comfort. Kaveh will hold Deepwood, Lauma has Serenade, Nilu on a 2-piece, and Xingqiu on Flower of Lost Paradise. If you find the team needs more energy, you can give Kaveh Favonia's Greatsword, but if the team's okay for energy, give him the 5.8 Event Claymore. It gives him 165 Elemental Mastery, and when he triggers Lunar-Bloom, he'll get another 120 Elemental Mastery for 15 seconds. It also recovers 24 energy. If you have Zyphos on Xingqiu, building him for Elemental Mastery will give himself and the team energy recharge too. I'm a big fan of Kaveh, as I know a lot of people are, but up to now I've been underwhelmed by his power in the meta, as I know a lot of people have. I'm sure we'll get a more powerful driver for this team in the future, but it's nice to know Kaveh has an actually good team now. Let's say you're a fan of Lauma's Spirit stance and just want to run around with a dare. You could play her on field and go for off-field application from Ino, a healer and then a flex of either Nilu or Sucrose. Bear in mind it's definitely not going to be a strongest team because the dare form doesn't do damage, but I imagine it'll be fun. You have some options with Hyperbloom too. Nuvolette, Farina and Nefer and Lauma is looking good. Obviously if you don't have an Nefer you can just use Cookie. Alhaitham's a long forgotten character who you can bring off the bench. Sino can come in if you're looking for more teams for him. Flynn's can obviously go in there too. It'll cost you a lot of primos, but if you have him to burn, it'll be fun to play almost an entire team full of new units. There's also Burgeon. Toma is our best trigger as of right now. Xingqiu will provide enough Hydro, and you can have one of Yaoyao or Baiju as the driver. You could even try Lauma as the driver if you really want her on field, with some off-field healing from one of Kokomi, Barbara or Siege Ween, but the Dendro healers will be better. Dia can function as a trigger too if you're like me and you just want to play her because you love her design. You could also choose her from the anniversary banner if you want to. Overall, I'm looking forward to Lauma. I expected her to just be a Bloom support, so the fact she can support Burgeon and Hyperbloom too is something I'm looking forward to trying. I've already put out a Flynn's guide, I have an Ino guide coming tomorrow, and throughout the week I'm going to be revisiting the standard characters you can choose as your anniversary gift. Subscribe if you're interested in those, and take it easy.